Just started to have feelings of wanting to do something else. And it was difficult to deal with that at first, because it was almost like a sense of a divorce. I'm glad I didn't have the castration done, because my partner of 2 years, Anne-Marie, is expecting. And I'm excited about that. And it's a whole new life for me to be thinking about being a father. I'm happy with the fact that I'm a functional human being in all aspects.
Rio D'Angelo learned the lessons of the class quickly, accepting that his body was a machine, a mere vehicle for his soul.
You don't let the vehicle have its way, because the vehicle is basically a biological computer with its own memory, its own ways of doing things. And as a soul, you have programmed your own soul and developed your own soul, kind of cultivated it. And so it's a different set of software going into the body. That's the hardware in computer terms.
To function well, the vehicle was given regular maintenance, including enemas and a special purge mixed to precise specifications.
It's called the Master Cleanser. It's lemonade or limeade with cayenne pepper and maple syrup, which was a B-grade maple syrup. This is a dietary formula. We did this off and on over some years, but it's basically to cleanse the vehicle, to get rid of a lot of toxins, and it works very well.
By the autumn of 1996, the group had settled in San Diego and was making its money through a business designing computer websites, including its own. Doe was becoming increasingly depressed and was convinced that the end was near.
If I would title this tape, it would be Last Chance to Evacuate Planet Earth Before It Is Recycled. Last chance to evacuate Earth before it is recycled.
It was through the internet that the group was able to draw in 2 new recruits, Yvonne and Stephen Hill. They joined just 6 months before the suicides.
I had become an avid web surfer. I stayed on the internet 9 to 10 hours a day. First contact was done through email over the internet.
For some time, the Hills had been the victims of a series of anonymous attacks and felt threatened. Their lives had become intolerable, and they were looking for a way out.
Once we had talked to the members of the cult, and they were sympathetic to our situation, it seemed to be a perfect match. They understood what was happening, the harassments and our cars getting tore up, and they were very sympathetic to that. It was me that wanted to go into the cult at first, and she wanted to come because she said that you're not leaving me here, you know.
The Hills had been married for 7 years and had 4 children. Their twins were just 1 month old. Joining the cult meant leaving everything and everyone behind.
The cult did not allow children, and we gave them up. Looking back, it's just ridiculous, but we did it. We had lost our perception of what to do. We told them that Mommy and Daddy's leaving.
They left the children with family members and joined the group, where they were separated. They too had to overcome their sexuality and attachment to each other.
I've been in the class, will be 6 months Sunday. I think I may be the last one up to this point to have come to be with T and Doe at this time. I'm very happy to be here.
She changed almost 100%. At first we got there, it seemed to be a big burden lifted off her. She was happy. She was totally enamored by the environment. You talk about $1 million estate and all the amenities and things that go along with that lifestyle, and she just enjoyed it.
As Yvonne became more drawn in, Stephen couldn't wait to leave, and after just 3 months, returned to Cincinnati, alone.
I knew that she couldn't keep up with that way of life, the control and manipulation. And then when I left, I kind of knew that she would follow. She had wanted to go there with me, and I knew that if I left, you know, that she would have wanted to leave and go with her family, to come home to her husband.
There's nothing here for me. I want to look forward, keep my eye on T&O. That's my path.
Stephen was never to see his wife alive again.
To see her picture, I couldn't believe that, but it's true. You know, and I have a lifetime to deal with that. My pain is really beyond, you know, anything I can even explain. You know, I look at my children and, you know, I want to give my life for them, you know, and to do all what I can. And that's all I have left, really.
Early this year, the Hale-Bopp comet made its appearance in the sky. Doe took this as the long-awaited sign from T that the time had finally come to evacuate planet Earth. Just weeks before the evacuation, Rio D'Angelo felt compelled to leave Doe and the cult, although he claims not to have known what was just about to happen.
I had this feeling that was the same feeling that I had when I joined. It was kind of an irresistible feeling that my focus or my task was different. I felt like I had a task to do outside of the class, for the class, in some way that I didn't understand. But I talked to Doe about it, and after an emotional conversation of how I felt I needed to leave the class to do this task, he felt that it was probably part of the design.
Although he decided to leave the cult, Rio retained its belief system.
The challenge of life outside the class is mostly having to deal with the human world. I am using a human vehicle. I identify as the soul. I don't identify as this vehicle. Me as the soul, Rio D'Angelo, is very different than Richard Ford. However, because I'm in here, we're kind of working this thing together, and it is actually right now, this is a very odd duality that I live with daily.
Rio's task was about to be made clear. He was to be the cult's messenger to the outside world after they had made the ultimate sacrifice and demonstration of their faith.
Let me say that our mission